now that we've had our practice, the 2018 Statement of Financial Information.
Good afternoon. My name is Linda Clausen. I'm the Manager of Financial Operations, and today we're seeking approval of the 2018 Statement of Financial Information Report, also known as a SOFI report, and it's due to be filed with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing by June 30th, 2019. During our detailed review, it's come to our attention that on page 41 we inadvertently included a return of a security payment which shouldn't be on the list. So in front of you in the blue copies, you have our amended report. All municipalities are required to file a SOFI report to comply with the Financial Information Act and regulation. The regulation identifies the necessary information that is to be made available to the public. The information consists of the core financial statements and schedules for employee remuneration and for payments of goods and services provided. This report also achieves compliance with Community Charter Section 168 for reporting council remuneration expenses and contracts. All SOFI reporting was compiled on a consolidated basis, which means that it includes the Squamish Library, the Squamish Sustainability Corporation, and the Squamish Sustainability Corporation. In addition to the annual financial statement, you will have the following additional reports. You will have a statement of financial information approval, management reports, which outlines the responsibility of management and council, and a schedule of remuneration. In the remuneration, it'll include council remuneration and all employees that are greater than $75,000 of remuneration. It includes wages, salaries, bonuses, and taxable benefits. It includes expenses that are on behalf of the employees, such as travel or memberships, and it includes benefits. It also has a statement of severance agreements outside of the collective agreement. We don't have any of this in 2018. And it also includes a schedule of payments greater than $25,000 to our vendors. That's it. Any questions?
I have some, if there's, Councillor Stonehenge?
Yeah. Under note number 4 for investments, it explains to some detail the connection with the Squamish Sustainability Corporation and the 25% limited partnership interest. Could somebody please explain that to me in English terms?
I didn't. Which page? Chair, I didn't hear that.
Sorry, page 17 of the SOFI report.
It's the DC shares. This one.
So terminated the last paragraph that says, as a condition of the sale, the third party agreed to 5.57 hectares of the property would be contributed to the district for use of municipal park.
Yes, and thank you. That was the waterfront park. Perhaps Mr. Buxton can provide more information around that one, but that was part of the limited partnership that we've put through the Newport oceanfront agreements. We had to enter into a limited partnership agreement, and this Squamish Sustainability Corporation holds that equity position, so we have to consolidate it onto our statements and reflect it in our notes. But it is actually the SSC holding.
And currently that's a nominal amount because it hasn't been developed yet.
We don't honestly believe the terms of the agreement, the way it's structured, they would likely buy us out if it started to gain value, frankly. We don't foresee having any net value.
And through the chair, acting mayor, the idea is that once the park is developed and handed over to the municipality, the limited partnership dissolves.
Thank you for that.
On SSC, I was curious as to why it has events costs.
Is So which cost?
Uh,
Must be losing my
Unfortunately, I have my pages in terms of the big agenda we had, so haven't found it yet in the blue pages.
Blue page is fine, we can figure it from the small print page.
Page 57 in our full agenda.
Great, thank you. Maybe we can.
And that's for, those are SSC, that's the SSC. So that's the
statements.
next item on the agenda.
Great.
Oh,
Questions
okay.
around SSC, though, we should wait until the SSC AGM to speak to the SSC financial statements.
Oh, okay, I got my documents mixed up. So I also had, I'm wondering if this might also be in the wrong document then. Okay, any questions from council? Okay, does someone want to move the resolution? Can we get the resolution up on the screen?
We
don't
didn't
have
put
it.
it on the screen, but it should be in your package on page, in the original
Oh, I
agenda,
have
page
it
4.
here, yeah,
So
yeah.
the district,
Just that, so I don't think so. So it's, yeah, that the District of Squamish approved the 2018 Statement of Financial Information as presented on June 25th, 2019. Councilor French, second by Councilor Hereford. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. So the next item is a request that the District of Squamish issue a request for proposals for auditing services. Did you?
Thank you, through the chair, Christine Matthews, Chief Financial Officer. 6 years ago, we went out for RFP for audit services. Last year, we made a conscious choice with council to not re-tender that service at the end of the 5 years because we were going through an implementation of software and we wanted to have some continuity with the auditors that we were working with already. Having said that, we have now implemented the base core financial systems, and so we really are due for RFP of services, and we have also been approached by the library board requesting that we consider doing an RFP. So we would probably be approaching them and SSC to see if they would like to do that request for proposal with us.
Questions, Council?
You just touched on the library. My question was, would the library be included in that? Just state that I...
Thank you. Ms. Bloom and myself have been in discussions to see if we can make that work. We certainly can look to partner and RFP together.
Anyone prepared to move?
So just a second. In this, and that's captured in this recommendation as far as what's contained inside the RFP.
Thank you. Through the chair, we normally would appoint our auditors at this point, so this is replacing that. We haven't provided specific details as to what you'd like in that report. We will use probably some fairly standardized service package, but if council has any particular things you'd like us to look for, we can certainly look at that.
My question was more about that considering the library and whatever those other considerations that you just mentioned. Is that you're comfortable that's captured?
To be honest, it's not, but we don't necessarily have legal authority to make that decision. I do need to approach the library board and see if they would like to partner, but I'm certainly, like I said, Ms. Bloom and myself have already discussed it, and we'll also make contact with SSC and see if they'd also. It's definitely beneficial to us to all have the same auditor, frankly, and we are looking at whether that can provide cost reductions for us overall.
Question, or are you going to move it? Great.
Okay, and Councilor Hereford moves the recommendation. Second. Councilor Anderson seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you.
So now we're on to the annual report.
Okay, good afternoon, Council. Linda Glenday, I'm the CAO here at the District of Squamish, and with me is Christina Moore, our Manager of Communications. We're here to present the 2018 annual report and also very excited to provide publicly a community performance dashboard launch. So in 2018, the district undertook a significant revision of the annual report to find a way to meet all legislative requirements for the report, but also find a way to engage more readers through a higher level succinct format. I have to give all the credit for this to our communications team and the staff that supported them putting it together. Christina came to me with the idea, I endorsed it, and this is what was produced, which is why I have Christina presenting with me, because she needs to take all of the credit. This approach has also enabled us to be more efficient with the development of the report, which has right-sized it for the size of our organization. The annual report also provided the opportunity to launch our new community performance dashboard, which fills in many of the metrics that were included in previous versions of the annual report. And as indicated in the title of this presentation, more on that later. So this report is also available on our website at squamish.ca. Council has been given hard copies, and there are hard copies available at the front counter of the municipal hall for the public. So 16 projects were highlighted in the annual report to present the district's 2018 goals and evaluation of those goals. One of the most monumental accomplishments in 2018, I'm sure all of you remember, was the adoption of the official community plan, which enables us to launch a zoning bylaw rewrite in 2019. To quote Mayor Elliott in her opening message of the annual report, quote, "Aligning these two principal policy documents to reflect the growth and aspirations of our community will have a positive influence on land use planning and decision-making long into the future." The district also made great progress in 2018 with affordable housing, groundbreaking on Under One Roof, approval of the seniors housing development, and a $7.6 million grant for the Buckley Avenue project, delivering 76 affordable rental units. Those units are in construction, just for clarity, are actually designed right now, so they're not available yet, but we're very excited to have made that progress. Community engagement around a future Brenner Park helped kickstart conversations and master planning for our facilities replacements, a collaborative working group approach to managing the environmental and social impacts of seasonal camping, and completion of important wildfire protection planning, and so much more helped us move forward in 2018. 9 of these projects are showcased here on the slide, just to provide a snapshot for council and the public. This slide provides a snapshot of some of the capital projects and infrastructure works that were completed in 2018. Important projects that fulfill on the recommendations of the district's many master plans. For example, the Water Master Plan, Liquid Waste Management Plan, Active Transportation, Paving, Well Protection, and many more. In the future, we'll see our real estate and facilities plan projects up here too. And our human resources plan, which is scheduled for next year. Objectives and measures for 2019-2020. So legislatively, we also have to include a looking forward section to the annual report in addition to what we have achieved in 2018. So this section outlines our objectives and measures for the upcoming 2 years. This council's new strategic plan has formed the bulk of the section with goals set under the 4 pillars. Oops. Technology. Okay, here we go. In addition, goals were included under the ongoing priorities heading in the strategic plan to address natural hazard mitigation, the marine action strategy implementation, emergency management planning, youth, arts and culture, programming, and active transportation and transit. The district's organizational plan also contributed goals under our people, effective service, stewardship, and building bridges, the 4 pillar areas under the organizational plan. So that's what's lining up for 2019 and 2020. Council just approved our audited financial statements. These are a required element of the annual report, including the permissive tax exemptions and details of any declarations of disqualification made against individual council members during the previous year, which I'm happy to say there were none. So here's our new community performance dashboard. This has been online. Soft launch, I think, is the communications term for it, and I know council has been provided with the link, as have staff. But an exciting step forward is the creation of this dashboard. It's the product of two initiatives that staff were pursuing in 2018. The first being the creation of a monitoring and evaluation tool for the new official community plan, and also the development of economic indicators to support local businesses, which is a project in partnership with the district, Squamish Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Squamish, and funded in part by the province of British Columbia. What's great about the two projects coming together is that originally staff were working concurrently on each, and then very quickly they saw that it could be coordinated and implemented, what's the word, integrated, I think is the word I'm looking for. And this is another example of cross-departmental work in our organization. It's absolutely phenomenal. So economic development with their partnership work, and then planning, communications, GIS, all came together. So Dan Griffin, Sarah McJanet, Christina Moore, Kate Mulligan, all came together to develop this tool. And it's one of those situations where you hire great staff and they go away and they present a project back, and it's rather mind-blowing, in my opinion, given where we came from and where we've landed. So it's a dynamic reporting tool that will support decision-making by providing us with the data necessary to understand where we're making progress and where we need to take action in areas that impact us daily and long-term. It's a huge step forward in helping us benchmark where we are today and understand how we're tracking towards our future goals. This also provides our citizens with a transparent and accessible way to measure our progress. Again, this is on our squamish.ca website. We have one website, squamish.ca, and the link is on the homepage. Yeah. So this is our OCP monitoring, and there's a snapshot there of what that screen looks like. And then this is the economic indicator. So there is a link out of the tool that goes specifically to more robust economic indicators. So there's an additional 16 economic indicators that complement the OCP dashboard. And as mentioned, they were created in partnership with the Squamish Chamber and Tourism Squamish with funding from the province. The 16 indicators paint a picture of the Squamish business climate from year to year to provide our local businesses and community partners with greater decision-making capabilities and empowerment through access to the data. Through continuously improving access to data and with a push to make data real-time and open, we're able to provide opportunities for the public and local businesses to analyze the data themselves. So our staff have done such a great job in terms of our open data portal and consolidating our data and putting it in a really user-friendly tool for our citizens and our businesses. So collectively, the dashboard provides useful and insightful data to track Squamish's progress across close to 50 indicators. So nothing like starting small. These indicators represent a wide range of topics, from single occupancy vehicle mode share to childhood vulnerability to local employment as a percentage of total workforce. So some of those indicators, we're just gathering the first benchmarking data. Others we have a longer term history of the data. So the data itself and the indicators will continue to be a work in progress over the next year. So this is one indicator. This is so you can click into an indicator and a graph will pop up, or a measurement visual tool. So this is an indicator that talks about single occupancy vehicle mode share. So these are good numbers, because what I'm reading from this is that the number of people in single occupancy vehicles have gone down.
It has gone down, and the goal is to get to 63% by 2031, which is a target that was set out in the Squamish Multimodal Transportation Plan. So this dashboard has really taken targets from a cross-section of plans that the district uses and has developed and puts it into one place.
Okay. So to conclude, the annual report closes with an invitation to our community to connect with us. Feedback and input is a year-round process, and we always welcome citizens to follow along with our work and initiatives and engage in dialogue with us throughout the year. And these are all the different ways that our citizens and visitors can engage with us.
Thank you, Councillor Stoner.
Congratulations on a really innovative new report format. I think it's really, really great. I have a question about the dashboard and the definition of open data specifically. As I'm looking through it, to me, open data means that I can actually download the data and work with it myself. And I'm on here and I can't seem to figure out how you do that. And so respond to that.
Through the acting mayor, I can clarify that may have been confusing. So I was indicating that staff have been working on open data historically, and that is, we do have an open data portal on our website. This tool uses some of that data, but it's not where you access it. Yeah, maybe. Oh, there's Dan. I didn't know Dan was here.
It's hiding. Hi.
Let the expert
Dan
explain.
Griffin. Yeah, I'll speak to that a little bit. So that is coming. The idea that we'd be able to delve into that data and be able to download the data directly from the open data site. Some of the indicators are being fed directly from the open data site itself, and some of them are just snapshots. So it depends on the indicator right now, but the idea is to develop out that model where we'd be able to access the raw data directly as well.
Anyone else? Council? So there is a motion that we receive the annual report. Would someone like to move that? Councillor French? Councillor Anderson seconds. Any discussion or comments? Councillor Murphy?
I'm excited to, I mean, this is great work in making this to a level that's we know that this could be 1,000 pages or more. So to get to this level, and I think is great and gives us shows a lot of the work that's been done. I'm really excited about the dashboard, and I'm really looking forward to moving the needle on some of those things over the next few years. So thank you, and yeah, let's move the needles.
Councillor Stoner?
Fear of repeating myself, thanks again for all the work on it. I do think it is really great. One piece that does jump out at me a little bit, looking through it, is how to frame this. There's a really great highlight of some of the really core projects that we moved forward in 2018, and they were big pieces that we moved forward. I think one piece that I'm continuously reminded of is the role of municipal government as a service provider for our community, and that's a large part of what our staff and our employees do. And that to me is a little bit missing in the overall annual report. The number of hours that I'm not sure exactly what the tangible pieces that we demonstrate there in terms of how many hours we put in terms of service delivery. So it's something to consider perhaps for the next year.
I'll just say, there's a lot of data, a lot of important information to consider, and I really appreciate the effort that's gone into making this consumable and understandable, and to pull out the things that we're hearing that are important to our community. So thank you very much. Very pleased to have this. With that, I will call a question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Sorry.
No. So the next item is going to be an interesting one, where we have some financial reports, and maybe I'll ask for some discussion on those. And then council is going to direct me as the acting mayor to have a meeting by myself. And a meeting by myself in front of everyone, according to council's direction. So just process-wise, there is an amendment to the last of the 4 resolutions. Is there a way for council to move all those at once, or we have to do them each separately?
Do them each separately, please, and yes, and there is a typo in the recommendations. We accidentally carried over Graham Young from last year when it's supposed to say Torrent Xavier.
In 2 spots.
In 2 spots, yeah.
Okay,
So council will make those motions individually, and then you will suspend the AGM, because right now council is sitting as shareholder of the corporation. And then you'll suspend the special AGM, and then you will confirm those recommendations.
great.
And then come back.
Okay, now before we start that, are there any questions about the financial reports? So I had a couple. I was just wondering, there's a number of charges, special event costs. In particular, my understanding is the SSC largely has responsibility for the Adventure Center right now, but I wasn't clear on why there would be special events costs. I would assume that any special events would actually be revenue as opposed to an expense. Maybe I'm misunderstanding there.
What page did you say that was? 57?
That's on page 7 of the financial reports. The expenses, statement of operations. And there's office, which I wasn't sure the SSC had paid staff, so I wasn't sure where these expenses were coming from. Page 7 of 14. Just standalone.
In the actual report, it's page 6.
Oh, there it goes. Thank you.
Oh.
The BDO here is not, I don't honestly know offhand what, you're looking at the 14,000.
I see 14,000 in special events, 43,000 in office and miscellaneous. I understand the landscaping.
The office and miscellaneous sort of would be the typical office expenses. It probably includes, does it include utilities? No, it wouldn't include utilities. Office supplies.
Because there are no actual staff of the SSC, right?
There are no staff, that is correct. But all of the IT hardware out of the Adventure Center, the photocopier there. So there are typical office expenses we incur as a landlord. The expenses here aren't itemised in the same way that we budget, so I don't actually know what the special event, how BDO have categorised these special event costs.
Councillor Herford?
So right before my computer died, it showed that we had a $25,000 budget, but only 14 executed.
Yeah,
Is
that's correct.
That, both of those things, one the same. I have questions around that as far as
The only special event cost that I can recollect in 18 that we budgeted was it's actually contracted expenses for the consultant to do the Adventure Centre repurposing project. The BDO is not outlining the expenses the way that we account for them. They've been grouped into different categories, so in some ways it's a little difficult to tease out from memory.
Yeah, I should have brought more detailed notes on this, but the expenses under note 3 are the entirety of the operating costs of the facility. And the costs that you just referred to there are captured under professional fees for the consultants who are looking at the highest and best use for the facility. The conversation that's been ongoing with Chris with media as consultants. So I'm puzzled by the format as well, Gary, in terms of being able to isolate it.
Professional fees, as I understand it, are the accounting costs and the audit costs. Again, I can certainly find out for you, but I say BDO are sorting the expenses differently from the way that we sort them. They're just in different buckets. So, absent going back and looking at the December financial statements, it would be, I wouldn't be able to tell you today what that is.
So maybe a different way to ask them, is the sort of bottom line number of 215,000 in line with our repurposing project and sort of a year's maintenance of the Adventure Center and so on? Is that a...
Yes, there was absolutely nothing untoward in the financial statements when we reviewed them and when they were submitted by BDO.
And is it possible next year to sort of have some sort of correspondence, so you can sort of understand what the numbers mean?
Yes, I can contact BDO and have them break down how and compare how they've broken down the expenses as they see them as we see them. Yeah, I can certainly do that. I can certainly give you a copy of the budget and the December 2018 year-end statements too.
Okay. So, are there any further questions then? All right, does someone want to move? I guess we have 4 resolutions here. The first one is that Acting Mayor Pettingill be appointed to vote on behalf of the shareholder during the June 25th, 2019 annual general meeting of the Squamish Sustainability Corporation. Councilor Sarlius, Councilor Herford, seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next, that Acting Mayor Pettingill be directed to accept the financial statements of the Squamish Sustainability Corporation for 2018. Someone will move that? Councilor Anderson, someone second. Stoner, any discussion? I'll just note that notwithstanding my questions, the bottom line number is not out of line from what I recall in previous years and so on, so I would like better clarification next year, but I'm comfortable moving forward with this because I understand there's not the categories might not be what we'd expect the overall makes sense. So any further discussion? Okay, call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. That Acting Mayor Pettingill be directed to confirm that the Squamish Sustainability Corporation be included in the District of Squamish request for proposals for auditing services. Someone move that? Councilor French, second by Councilor Stoner. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. That Acting Mayor Pettingill be directed to appoint Gary Buxton, Tim Hoskin, Kate Mulligan, Torrin Saviard, Kirby Brown, and Councilor Race to the board of the Squamish Sustainability Corporation. Someone want to move that? Councilor Stoner, second by Councilor Herford. Any discussion? Seeing none. Oh, do you?
Yeah. I would like to point out that there's strong interest on the part of the Squamish Chamber of Commerce to be a participant in this board. And while I recognize this isn't the time to have that conversation, and this is not necessarily the time to bring that to this motion, I would like for that discussion to take place at some point before we get to this point next year, to hear from the Chamber of Commerce and have a fulsome discussion around that idea.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. So, am I suspending this meeting now?
Yeah, we have a motion to suspend.
Okay, so not so okay, can I have a motion to suspend? Councilor Stoner, second by Councilor Herford. Any discussion? None. All those in favor? Motion carries.
And what's Okay, and then what you do is you verbally confirm each of those motions.
Okay, so do I need to call the meeting to order or?
No, you just confirm.
Okay, so first resolution is I move that council of the District of Squamish resolve to suspend the special business meeting temporarily in order to sit as a shareholder of the Squamish Sustainability Corporation.
You just did that.
Oh,
so
that's what I just
yeah,
did.
Just confirm that, sorry.
Okay, sorry. So that I move that the financial statements of the Squamish Sustainability Corporation for 2018 be accepted by the shareholder. Discussion, no? All in favor? Yep. Okay, motion carries. That the Squamish Sustainability Corporation be included in the District of Squamish request for proposals for auditing services. Call the question, any discussion? No? All in favor? Yep. That Gary Buxton, Tim Hoskin, Kate Mulligan, Doran Savillard, Kirby Brown, and Council Race be appointed to the Board of Squamish Sustainability Corporation. Sorry, I move that. Discussion? Nope. All those in favor? Yep. Motion carries. Do I terminate?
Did you do the auditing service one too? You did, okay. Yep, and then we'll just go back into the,
So terminate or adjourn?
no, don't adjourn anything, just go back into the, we're just going to resolve to go back
Okay,
into
so
the
I will
special meeting.
move that we go back to the special
Yeah.
meeting. Don't need to discuss it. I'm in favor, so motion carries. And we're back in the regular meeting. And we are now on to correspondence.
So this item, this was a late item, came in on Friday, and it's something that happens every year. We have representatives from the Northern Youth Abroad come down to Squamish, and we provide them with transit passes and recreation passes. The amount that you see there is based on last year's transit pass costs. We know that this year we're going to have free transit on the weekends, so we're already doing that. And then Mr. Hoskin has a discretionary budget, and we just tap into that to provide the rec passes for those to you. And it's based on the adult transit pass because these youth are typically around 22, 23, 24 years of age. They're not students.
Okay, does someone want, or any questions actually? No? Someone want to move the resolution? Okay, Councillor Stoner, second by Councillor Herford. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? No, motion carries.
Now,
Okay, now I have a motion to terminate. Councillor Herford, Councillor French, any discussion? No, all those in favor? Motion carries.